Hello, everybody.
Welcome, welcome. What's up, Joe? How you doing today?
Pretty good, man. Dude. We do need to have that music going. Maybe I can play it at the right time on my own computer, and then the music will just transition. Um, that's a good idea to do because I always feel the vibe too after that song. And when it dies, it almost is like anticlimactic for me. But yeah,
Well, it's not the first time.
yeah, dude. It's not. I'm in my 30s, dude.
Blue Chew.
Dude, all y'all. So yeah, I've got comics going on. I got a comic project that everybody knows about, and a comic project that nobody knows about, and Star Circuit, obviously. But I'm working on those things, and I'm trying to get the prints going for Star Circuit. I got proofs back, digital proofs this time.
Nice.
And they look good. So now I have to do a little bit more packaging with the print file, and then we get printed for Star Circuit this week. So that'll be awesome once I know that's happening. But yeah, this is going to be a fun time. We've got a special guest. Before that, who's in our chat? Did somebody pop in here? We got
you.
Just me. Well, I wrote to somebody. I thought Neff popped in here before, but maybe it disappeared. Anyway, I was going to say.
What did you do?
What?
Like usually we're popping. What did you do?
I don't know. I do not know. I haven't really said anything bad today, so could be
today.
Yeah. Right. Maybe it just didn't go out there. Didn't spread the word enough. Anyway,
I don't know. They usually grow. It usually rolls in.
For sure. Plus, the last 2 weeks we did it at 6, and whenever we change times, people are always screwed up for a minute. But hopefully they see us. We're on. Either way, they'll watch the replay. But we've got a sweet guest. We both know this dude. I first saw him on, sadly, a project that didn't get funded. Was the first time I saw him, maybe on a Comicscape Presents, potentially with Malin. Could have been another one, but that was the Prospectors. I saw him bring out this book, and I was stoked for it. It was a really good pitch. And then obviously I backed Dixie Rose, the next project I saw, and now he's got another one. Matthew Fowler is here with us tonight. Let's bring him in.
Matthew Fowler.
How's it going, guys? How's it going?
You know, the normal Wednesday for me. A lot of this and that. I got a day job to contend with, and so Wednesdays are usually a mixed bag. You know, if I don't have a lot of work, then it goes streamlined.
It's going great for him, Matt. How's it going for you?
All right. I just fed all the kids and got dinner taken care of, and took the dog for a walk, and made it back in time to get on the show in time. So yeah, it's going good for now. I think it's about to rain the rest of the week, so after this cast I got to rush outside and get the lawn mowed one more time before all the rain sets in, and then you end up with like a swamp yard and stuff. But yeah, so it's been a good day for me so far.
Collision bombs in,
Sure. Hello, Collision Bomb, good to see you. Now we know
we just been dealing with some hurricane-ish weather, so we should be getting a little bit of rain towards the end of this, maybe a little bit after.
I was trying to figure out if we were actually going to get hit. We didn't get anything during the day today. So in Florida, we plan for the worst sometimes. What about where you at, Matt? Are you?
I'm in Illinois, in the center of the Midwest.
Okay, so tornado action for you then?
Not really, just different temperature every day of the week. For it could be cold one day, could be super hot the next. It's just the Midwest.
My dad used to live in Joppa.
Joppa, Illinois.
Yeah. So I think that they still live in Illinois. It's just a little bit, I think, a little bit more south than Joppa, but like Metropolis.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Anytime you drive through the state and go past Metropolis, we would always stop and see that Superman statue. It's in the town square. Yeah.
My dad's like, why don't you come move out here, do comics out here? So they got their comic book shops, dude.
Nice. Yeah, I've not heard.
Cool little town.
Killer.
Oz Great Sage. Hello.
Oh,
Hype for
hail,
Tiger
Oz.
Blue. Yeah.
Yeah, I do want to talk about Tiger Blue because it's the new thing, and I didn't even put the 2 and 2 together. I saw the art because I know Jose well enough to keep him in the corner of my eye, and then I didn't put 2 and 2 together. That was your book as well. So I'm sure we can talk about it, but I want to get into maybe some other things. Just like I've heard just in many streams that you're a gamer of a couple sorts. I know you play fighting games. What are you into? What do you like to do outside of comic books and creating?
I'm huge into video game preservation, the collecting of the rare unreleased video games, and as far as the tournament scene goes with fighting games, I was really big into bringing the arcade boards and the exact games from the older tournaments, to the modern tournaments to keep. Some games have been running, 25 years at this point. The original Super Street Fighter 2, right. The standard Hadouken old version, from the arcade,
right.
is still played competitively and, stuff like that. I was big into the monitors, the RGB, like hospital monitors or broadcast video monitors that capture this true picture for the old equipment. And I got real heavy into recording that old low definition signal in high definition for, the modern broadcast setups.
Yeah.
And heavily into traveling around to fighting game tournaments and working with the streamers to get that broadcast going, to get that old low resolution signal upscaled without being distorted, and it's real nerd stuff, but it was my thing for a lot of years.
I mess with retro art quite a bit, so getting a little bit of that, like upgrading using artificial intelligence, like algorithms that they're playing with, I really enjoy some of the stuff that I can do with that. But yeah, like preserve the classics, man.
Right. Yeah. I didn't know you had the production background, so that's pretty cool. So you're pretty much helping the scene. Are you still doing that now? Are you helping the tournament scene at all?
When COVID hit in 2020, the idea of people flying in from every corner of the world to meet in Chicago to sit in tight, sweaty quarters while they sit next to each other playing fighting games kind of is non-existent at this point,
right?
And a lot of those tournaments have transitioned into online, which there's lag, and a lot of the tournament scenes about being there and side betting and just doing fun interactions with the community, and seeing your friends from Canada once a year, your friends from Japan, or your friends from Australia, and that's kind of gone. So I'm just doing some other stuff now, and hopefully, that will return to normalcy in the next couple of years. Is all we can really wait and see.
Hopefully.
I've been to a few game shows, shopping around my game Beckon in its early stages, and then before that, like two trips to San Francisco for the GDC conference. So gotten a few of those after party tournaments, just like sit there and watch these high level players get to play in these underground little grottos. It was awesome.
Yeah. And those guys to play those high level money match tournaments need that exact equipment, that can't be faulty or whatever, or they'll cry. They'll say, it was laggy. My controller didn't work, so you can't have that happening in these high stakes money matches. So I was the equipment guy.
Cool.
Yeah.
I was going to say that like playing the online option, like totally negates, like it's a totally different game for almost every game, because you're, different characters are now obsolete, or, whatever. You're only having to play with a certain, spectrum of what you can do online.
Joe, your most recent one's been the Smash Brothers series. You've been crunching as far as
I stay away because I get addicted, and I was eventually, before COVID, was probably going to ramp up to trying a tournament, but I just saw that they brought what's his name from Tekken into Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
I know. Jin Kazuya, right?
Yeah.
And my son loves Smash Brothers. He's 14. He buys all the DLCs and every bit of it, the extra content for Smash Brothers. And he was talking about the Tekken guy came out the other day. So,
yeah, I heard.
Coleman, what's up?
Yeah, Coleman's here. Hey, holla. So yeah, that's cool to know. I didn't know you had such a the back end.
The technical, that's cool.
Technical part of it. That's pretty sweet. So, what's your favorite game to mash some buttons?
I like this old Sega Genesis game called Dragon's Fury Pinball, and I'm just obsessed with getting a billion points in Dragon's Fury Pinball. So I've been.
I gotta look that up.
Yeah,
I think I picked it up in 2012 and just got an old copy of it, and it was made at Tengen, Atari in Milpitas, California, where I grew up. My first job when I was 18 till I was about 19, or later half of when I was 19, was for Tengen, Atari, Time Warner. So I found out about the building from an ad on the back of comic books where they show the address of where the thing is, and I'm like, that's right, yeah, that Dragon's Fury ad right in the upper left corner. I saw that on the back of a comic book and ended up getting a job for Atari by just going there and applying.
Yeah, dude, that reminds me of like King's Bounty, like on the Sega Genesis. I think, dude, like that takes me back. Just the graphics, very Diablo kind of feel too.
Yeah.
Like
go ahead,
flavor.
I was just interjecting for I know you do some of the art rep for your buddy Tom, or
yeah, that was my big discovery or claim to fame, I guess. When 2018, when CG first started, everybody was scrambling to find artists and stuff, and I was looking at the ads on the back of all these game magazines, or back of comic books from the 90s of video games, and I was like, who's this painter? Like, and then it was like no one knew who the painter was, and I started researching it, and then ended up coming across some Bible artwork for Watchtower magazine, like religious stuff,
right?
And the David and Goliath looked like Castlevania, and I was like, deeper into it, and the guy had some cowboy pieces, and the horses looked like Sunset Riders, and all the elements came together, and I ended up finding out he lives in Illinois, an hour away from me, and was hired through a marketing company 30 years ago through his cousin. So Konami didn't even know who he was. So I got up with the My Life in Gaming people and had the documentary made about his, because he's drawn more box art than any Nintendo artist ever. He's done like 40 covers for Nintendo games and over 80 of the ads that were on the back of comics from like 91 to 94, when more comics were being sold than anything. His ads were right on the back. And I got with him, and we threw a book together to do a crowdfund for a big hardcover painted comic book. And our goal was $50,000, because it's a big painted comic book. Mm-hmm. And we flopped completely. But the whole goal of me getting a comic book done was to relaunch his career, with Konami or, some of those other big companies. And just on the artwork alone and the pitch packet, we were able to secure him all those jobs and stuff. And they started rolling in, and he had no idea how to deal with all this. So I was like, well, I mean, if you want me to be your manager, I can, and then that kind of rolled into negotiating original art sales for a lot of that old stuff through private art groups. And, wow. That those private art sales go crazy, and that community is a whole another set of crazy people, other than CG. So I dealt with that for most of 2019. And then, I took all the money I'd earned from that and looked for talented artists in our sphere and tried to get them as much work as possible. And, hope one of these campaigns takes off eventually, but
for sure.
If not, I'm having fun,
What kind of bucks are we talking about? If I wanted to get a cover or something?
Oh, I mean, we're not supposed to talk from Tom. Yeah,
Tom, I just not even close to the ballpark. Just is it more than you think I can afford by my look at my face? Or
yeah. We did the biggest one we did in 2019 was Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds album cover for their album Ghosteen.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I can't reveal the rate, but it was as much as a lot of these, lower campaigns get, just for that stuff. And that's just for the work. Then negotiating the sales of the original art is more, it's big time stuff, especially because nobody knew who he was. It was like this sudden mystery solved. And now all of a sudden we know who the Norman Rockwell of Nintendo is, who the Andrew Struzan of Nintendo games is. So it was like a huge mystery. And we started instantly getting jobs from, the Bloodstained Curse of the Moon Kickstarter that was like the biggest video game Kickstarter or whatever. It was the guy who made Castlevania, like left to make his own game. We got the cover for that. And then Konami hired us back to get the cover for the new Contra stuff. And then over to the retro collectibles. It's awesome. It's just I'm getting to touch all my favorite franchises from when I was a kid a little bit.
Jeremy, go to the Tom section, Tom the Boy section, and you should have plenty in here, right? I went here before.
Yeah. If you click on that, it's you scroll down. I think the portfolio. Yeah, they just start scrolling through all the images.
Oh yeah.
Right. So then you can see some of what we're talking about.
Yeah, that was Contra. That was the relaunch of the Contra franchise. Mm-hmm. There's a whole story with that stuff that I got into it with them about I can't really talk about, but they were really trying to SJ dub up the franchise, and I wasn't really comfortable with that being his big return, with it being so whack, and it was huge fights and got me in trouble a little bit.
That's crazy. I think I remember the Dracula's Curse box art the most that he did.
Castlevania 3 is one of the best video games of all time. It's like they're like that Ajax was never released. That's some stuff.
Really?
Yeah, I got his whole catalog from beginning to end on there. It's the most comprehensive library of his work out there now, with when I did all that old mystery solving shit.
It's super cool, man. I dig that. Like, you're like a centerpiece to this. It's awesome. And so you obviously do a lot of the work. Have you ever met him face to face?
Yeah, we hang out that. Yeah,
cool. I figured that would be the case. I knew there. On streams I've heard you talk about it a couple times, so I was getting that impression. But yeah, there we are. Dracula's Curse. Dude, 3
and you see I have all the unedited ones without any of the copy. And then like I see those ads right there, like that one. I had to go to the comic book store and dig through long boxes, just pulling everything that I thought might have been by him. And then I would take him over to his house and be like, did you do this one? Did you do this one? Did you do this one? He's like, oh yeah, I remember that. I have that drawing downstairs. Like, let's, oh yeah. I didn't even realize that was for this company, because he didn't realize, how Konami lied to Nintendo and had 2 companies because you could only release so many games at once with the Nintendo seal of approval. So they had like Konami and then Ultra Games or whatever, right? So he thought he was working for 2 companies all this time. And it's like, no, dude, it's just one place. This is all the same stuff. Right. But yeah, he did all the Contra stuff, all the Top Gun, Ninja Turtle.
Top Gun was great. The Snake's Revenge. Jesus, so many. It's crazy.
Yes.
Mind-blowing.
Insane.
For me, it brings up, anybody that is in their 30s and they played these games when they're kids. This is like some next level revelationary kind of stuff going through this gallery.
Yeah.
So it's so crazy that you're part of this. So
CG Tom's CG. No one just bought his comic, so he doesn't have a comic to really claim him. He has a failed campaign actually.
I think it was a little too. Neil, both me and Jeremy are both pretty new to CG. I'm about like a year in, but I'm assuming this was before that.
This was probably June 2018. It ran.
Okay, yeah, so like a year before, or so, maybe 2 years before me. I was in and out. Like I was still working on my book, and wasn't sure about what CG was at the time. But dude, Contra 3, one of my favorites.
Yeah, Contra 3's awesome, dude. That's one of my favorite games too.
Ever, dude. So good. I have that soundtrack in my mind constantly.
That game, the Contra 3, in 2019 was up for Game of the Year for the re-release of the Contra collection, and it got the cover of Retro Gaming Magazine Europe. Like that was one of our biggest things in 2019 was that re-release of a Contra 3. But there hadn't been an image high resolution enough to do a naked cover, until the discovery or whatnot. So that was a huge moment, especially because Contra 3 is like you said, one of my favorite games ever for sure.
Yeah. Turtles in Time.
Yes, that's why I'm pointing at my.
Oh yeah. You got the arcade cabinet. I bought my kids that same Turtles arcade cabinet for Christmas, like either last year or the year before. But they played it with me like twice, and then they never touch it.
I've got high scores on it. I'm actually trying to figure out how to beat it by playing all 4 characters with just 2 hands.
Nice. That's awesome.
I want the new mini one, whatever that one was. Not the mini one. It's a Capcom collection. It's got Strider. It's got some. I can't remember what collection they have, but one of them I want for sure.
Strider and Ghouls and Ghosts and Final Fight or something. Yeah.
I'd love to play that. Bring back
insane,
dude. Jeremy, like you didn't think it was going to be this?
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
This is kind of.
Oh yeah, he did everything. Like he there's some unreleased stuff in here.
Oh, I remember that. That's Maximilian from Tiny.
Yeah, from Tiny Toon Adventures. Yep.
Oh my god.
And you just don't realize he is
Animaniacs.
The Bruce Struzan of Nintendo's old school artwork. It's nuts.
That's
yeah.
Insane.
This is incredible.
Luckily, like I said, even though our comic book flopped, back in 2018, it still served the purpose of getting him seen and getting everything going, which is what I wanted to accomplish. So I can't really be too sad about it. I mean, I wish every day I had a whole comic book, but it's like, well, I got to resurrect this dude's career and kind of solve a mystery. So I love having done that for him, man.
Those are
awesome. To me, this is like, it would be like it's one of those stories that, your kids probably won't like really, I guess maybe respect till they're older or something.
Oh no, they hang out with him. They come with me when I go up there.
Oh, that's cool.
His parents love my kids. Yeah.
Killer. So how old is this? Is he older now?
He's 65, and his parents are 95.
Whoa.
And he spends full time taking care of his parents. They're both super disabled now, just not because of stuff, but because of just old age. And
I figured at 90,
yeah,
right. And he moved home after recovering from cancer and started doing work for all the Bible magazine until I found him. And then, like I said, he's been doing steady work for there's stuff I can't, this NDA currently, but he's on current stuff.
Cool. Yeah, it's cool that he did that new crowdfund. I didn't do the crowdfund for Curse of the Moon? I can't remember what it's called. Is that it?
Yeah, that Bloodstained. That was a few years back, and I think it's notoriously was late. It was like it took forever to finish, or But when they finally did a physical release, we got to do the box art for it. So it's like,
heck yeah. I'm gonna pull up while we're on the art side of things. They're gonna pull up all the images you sent me for Tiger Blue, unless you don't want to show those.
No, that's fine. Yeah, that's more on topic because it was like video games and video games influencing comic books, and Tiger Blue is like straight from the Street Fighter 2 universe of inspiration. The designs and the whole theme of the thing. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Thanks, Frog G.
Heck yeah. Frog G's in the house. Thank you, Frog G. Spread the word if you can. Retweet my little thing that I put out. I was hoping to get other people in. I tagged a lot of people, but I know there's something happening right now as well. I think.
They'll come back and watch.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, is there another stream going on or something?
I know. Good stuff. Released his video at 7, but I don't know if that's
new crack pack video.
Yeah, pack is here.
Every day.
Bow, bow.
Let me find you.
Hey, Joe, a vow, bow.
Vow. Yeah, I
No, a vow. Just like Bancroft, you're in the hot seat too, boy.
Yeah, dude, I'm not. I get it. I'm just saying. I'm a part of watching people's health. You know what I mean? That's it.
Yeah, we want comics, not health.
Yeah, I know. Let's see if I can pull this up without doxing myself. Let's see this. Okay, it looks like we have. Can you scroll through them? No, that would be too good if we could do that. One sec. But yeah, Tiger Blue. Tell us maybe a little bit about do you have an elevator pitch for it at all?
Not really yet. I could just tell you kind of like how it came together, because I'd say of all my books, it's the most like born in CG, back when Jawbreakers first started funding, there was a lot of fan art posted by this Jawbreakers fan art account and threads with that stuff. And he would do the weekly streams and read America Chavez out loud. I don't know if you guys remember those days where Zach would just read America Chavez, and it was hilarious just because the comic was so bad. Anyway, in one issue of America Chavez, the cat got ran over and she was mourning her cat, right? And that cat was named by the chat Splato Delgado, right? So Splato was born. And that was going to be Zach's company name or whatever. It was like a meme, So when the fan art stuff was happening, I hired a guy to do a feral Splato, like hulked out character, kind of for the thing. And everybody liked it. It got lots of likes, it was like a cool thing in the fan art thread. So a few months later, the Mitch Brightweiser people were having a page art contest to submit to the Red Rooster thing. So I hired the same guy to do a couple pages of like that feral Splato fighting Red Rooster, for that contest. Cool. Anyway, that only reached like some pencils and layout stages before the artist disappeared, or how it goes in the make a comic book game. People flake or whatever. It's what it is. So I always kept the idea of this like buff tiger cat character, that was like, and back in 2018, at one point in time, we were looking at possibly buying the rights to Karate Cat because it came with Tiger Sharks, there's like a Saturday Morning Classics pack that came with Tiger Sharks, Karate Cat, and some other stupid thing. So I was like, well, we could make that work because everybody loves Tiger Sharks. It's basically Silverhawks or whatnot. But I could redo Karate Cat. So I thought I was going to, do a reimagining of Karate Cat with this type of character. But then that fell through and I kept it around. And then when I saw Jose's art, one of the background characters on something he'd done was like an anthropomorphic lion or something, and I was like, oh dude, wait, this guy's got it. Like, let me hire him for 5 test pages to see. And I told him what I wanted, gave him all the designs. It was like, yo, can you make this as Street Fighter 2 as possible? I mean, just make it Brian
that's awesome
Bengus style. And I told him about the Capcom art books and all that, and he's like, oh, I used to do t-shirts. And then I was like, wait, what? And he told me he'd worked for fighting game companies and designed some t-shirts before. I said, oh, I own that Blanca t-shirt you designed. So I was like, I ended up had to have already bought a shirt he drew of some fighting game characters. So we were all linked up with that fighting game side of things, and he was off to town. So You know, that's
good.
I think in California I got hit up by one of those guys, and I did a T-shirt job for him. I didn't know exactly what it was, but he did say it was fighting game tourneys. Like that's what they would travel around to do, and like brand teams. And so I was doing these T-shirt designs. I had no idea that's where it actually went.
I got to look up that Blanca T-shirt. I'm totally interested.
Yeah, I think it's 86 is the clothing brand. Like, you know, when you 86 someone, throw them out the window.
Right.
And I can send you a link because I went and found it all the night after I talked to him. I was like, oh, I'm going to look that up. And, you know, I dug out the T-shirt and looked at the tag and found the website and whatnot. So I'll send you the link. But, Jose, man, small world. So we ended up, linked up.
Yeah, show me or maybe because I get the vibe of the maybe the story, we get the vibe of the artwork. What's the maybe do we have a motivation for like what the story is maybe leading toward, like as far as a hero's journey, or is it more just I don't know,
Kung Fu Panda?
So, which is funny because Jose worked on Kung Fu Panda at DreamWorks.
It translates. I can see it.
But as far as the story goes, it's like, have you ever read a comic book and then wonder like, oh, well, where did these 4 animal creatures that just beat Batman's ass come from? You know, it's like kind of like a villain's origin, you know? So like it takes place kind of before World War II, just a little bit. And the Axis powers, Japan, Italy, and Germany have kind of teamed up on this island where a German scientist is doing these experiments to make these creatures, and then Japanese samurai are training them, and then the United States branch of the Italian mafia is testing the creatures as enforcers for the Chicago mafia. So the story starts with the main one of these enforcers like finishing off a family, not family like wife and kids, like family like mafia family, and he's so heavily damaged he needs to be replaced. So it's like off to the island to get the number 1 assassin who's been killed or mortally wounded. It's replacement. So that's the story. It's kind of like a villain story a little bit. I don't know if there's heroes or villains as much as like just badasses beating each other up. Kind of.
Look at that Jose paneling again. Like, oh my goodness. Just love what he does.
Like some of what Jose does makes me nervous, but at the same time, I think it's just like, dude, I'm zooming in here. And dude, geez. So this reminds me a little bit of like, I don't know, Enter the Dragon or something, where all these villainous people come to fight.
I'm seeing how this can be a huge spin-off of the Ninja Turtles, because you still got these creatures being trained by, ninja masters or samurai masters or kung fu masters, and then they're, that people are experimenting on with this. Dude, you could totally we could, how they were doing Bucky O'Hare and stuff with Ninja Turtles back in the day, and they still kind of do that with Power Rangers now. Dude, you could do it.
Oh yeah.
Dude, yeah.
Incredible stuff by Jose.
And you can see Jose really nails the backgrounds, which are important, and they're vital to this story because the fights are kind of affected by where they're fought. Like fighting the snake guy on the beach is not as hard as fighting the snake dude in the grass, and fighting a tiger in the grass is also bad. So like this page you're looking at is the center of the book. It's like 2 forces fighting each other that are also amped up by the territory they're fighting in. I kind of call back to, when in The Dark Knight Returns, when Batman had to beat the mutant leader of the gang, and the mutant leader had beat his ass in the junkyard when the mutant leaders chose where to fight. Right. But when Batman breaks him out of the jail and takes him to the swamp and fights him in the sewer, in that mud pit up to the waist where he's not as fast, he can't, and territory kind of affects the fight. Location or whatnot affects the fight.
I take that. That's attention to detail that I love. That's the stuff that you pay attention to in like games like Dark Souls and other things like that, where it matters where you're at, your surroundings. Really cool. I'm going to zoom out again, show the whole thing. And then, yeah, there's plenty here. I'm stoked for it. Did you say where Tiger Blue, the name, came from?
Yeah, I started thinking about like how all my names of my comics fail, like the Prospectors or Psycho 66 or, Dixie Rose. They all had kind of, I'm like, well, comic book people like to have things that are named exactly what they are. Like this is Spider-Man. This is Wolverine. Like this
games do the same thing.
The thing what it is. So I'm like, well, this is a blue tiger. I said, oh shit, Tiger Blue. And I got the Y spelling from that Batman the Animated Series episode that kind of inspired this, that Tiger when he's on the island fighting the cat guy and the gorilla guy. And
that's a great episode.
And that's just inspired by Island of Dr. Moreau, the old book. And like you said earlier, it reminds you of Enter the Dragon. That's the elevator pitch is Island of Dr. Moreau meets Enter the Dragon is basically the quickest way to describe it.
Yeah, it's perfect. I think you got like I know Dixie Rose funded, but this one I think will fund like within an hour or something. I'm serious.
We'll see.
It's by far my favorite work that Jose has done. Like I like it more than his project. Sorry, Jose. I do love his work, but this is just one from it.
Yeah, it's same with me. The flavor of it wasn't exactly my own, but his execution was incredible. Very clean, very professional. Everybody was, oogling that stuff. But what this book looks like, I'm much more interested in seeing where he went with this.
Yeah, for sure. These panels right here, this is my favorite page so far when I'm bringing up.
Yeah, this is like my last shot at doing a comic book when my wife's like, well, quit trying to make what you think the crowd will want and just make exactly what you would want. And I said, all right. And that's what Tiger Blue ended up being.
With game design and stuff, you want to try to make it as appealing as possible because there's always like, in the end, there's $1 you're trying to make. But you like something for a reason. And more than likely, there's going to be a bunch of other people that attach to it for those reasons too. So go nuts, go ham.
Yeah.
This page is after his fight with the snake guy. Since they were so evenly matched in the grass, the snake had to take a loss to get the bite in on Tiger. But now Tiger's poisoned. So he didn't really win. It wasn't really kind of a draw. He's leaving this fight the victor, but if you'll see in the next few pages from that bite, he's starting to hallucinate as he's making his way across the island.
Oh, that makes sense now. Like as I'm looking at the pages before the stream, I was like, oh, this is getting a little weird. Now it makes sense.
Oh, that's cool.
I could follow the fight really easily, and that's how I know this is some of Jose's best work. Like it's very storytelling's clear as hell. Clear as day, as we would say, down by the bay. What do you say?
I'm so glad he did that to himself.
I think he checked.
After that rhyme, I didn't know how he was going to come up off of that. No.
I kick myself.
I'd kick myself too if I made that rhyme.
So I'll tell you what, guys. I'm loving it. I want you to have like a super successful campaign because Dixie Rose looks like incredible. I can't wait to read it.
Yeah, that should be ready by November. We're 26 pages done of 52, so it's trucking along.
Heck yeah. Let me pull up your screen, Jeremy, because you got Dixie Rose up there as we speak.
Yep.
You think I feel like sex sells, and I'm glad this one got funded because I think it's it's probably the sexiest book out there, probably in CG anyway. But yeah, that's how it goes. Yeah, dude, I'm a boomer sometimes. I'm coming close to 40 years old this decade.
There's not enough reflection on that pole. Those things have got oil on them.
You would probably like Dixie Rose, Joe, because it's got a lot of the same elements as Star Circuit. Like it's set at the bottom of a space elevator called the Rose, the Rapid Orbital Space Elevator. And the strip club at the bottom is frequented by like asteroid miners and space marines and stuff like that. So when they have to solve the murder, you have to decide if it was from someone off world or, was she killed up there and brought down here, all that kind of stuff. But the national pastime is these semi trucks that race up and down the space elevator. So when they're not transferring cargo, they have these races on Friday nights, and the whole plot revolves around the murder being done because they were rigging a race, of these semis. It's inspired by the F-Zero GX stuff. There's like a space elevator racetrack, and also the semi trucks, just like your book. Since they run transport of everything, they're kind of the gangs of the world and run the contraband and the unions, through the world. And I really laid off the promotion of that aspect of it because, like, when we were going, like, Star Circuit was the big thing, and I didn't,
could have pushed that because it would have sold me even more on it. Obviously.
Yeah, especially on that horizon line, that black horizon line right in front of the city. You could have these silhouettes of these semis.
That would be cool. It also reminds me of Cowboy Bebop because they have those raider guys that race. I guess in the warp little zones or whatever. I can't remember.
Yeah.
That was a great
Red Line. Have you ever seen something called Red Line?
Yes.
Yeah, Red Line was definitely an inspiration of that too. One of the suspects in Dixie Rose is like the head professional racer. Like he's like the, big shot. He's dating one of the strippers. He's, wins the races every week, and it's about him winning a race, but not winning, and them taking bets against it down at the club or whatever. With, it's kind of like Goodfellas, after they steal the Lufthansa money and then they murder everyone who knew about the heist, is where I got the inspiration for the Dixie Rose stuff for sure.
Yeah, I feel like that's the baseline for many gangster movies. Everybody wants out. What's that one that Brad Pitt was the hitman in?
Snatch?
No, not that one's good, but the
Killing Him Softly.
Killing Him Softly, yeah. So that reminds me of that one too. But there's tons of them out there.
I get this Moulin Rouge and Death Race 1 mix.
Yeah, a little bit.
All right.
Awesome. Ryan Wynn also agrees. Red Line is dope as dope gets.
Yeah.
True. Some people would call that dope crack. However, that's not me. I wouldn't call it that. And Shadowhawk says the art is definitely good. You got my attention. Well, go ahead and do you have any? Is that in demand still, Dixie Rose? I thought you pulled it down.
No, I shut them down. Those ones that kind of just stop at $5,000. It's more problem for a creator to leave that open, because you're stressing every day. Where's the next backer? Who will put me on a stream? How will I make it? And you just hate life. You feel like a turd is just sitting out there, and everybody's just staring at it.
This isn't a turd. Look at this.
It's incredible.
No, but by the numbers, it is. So you're seeing it there, and it's like, well, I don't want that to fester. I would rather just shut it down, and then I'm free. And if when I'm fulfilling, I might do a second. Oh no, go ahead. When I'm fulfilling it, I might do a second chance or something along those lines. But I don't know. If you missed it, you missed. I guess you missed it. Get the next one. I don't want to, like kick a dead horse and try to redo something that wasn't fetch. I don't want to try to make something fetch that wasn't fetch. This was just a lot of fun for me to do. hanging out at the strip club, making a comic book with a bunch of people there. Like it was like a party. Yeah,
roller skates on her cowboy boots, Joe. I love it.
To me, Dixie Rose is like, this is how you know it's all about who you know, who's putting you on their streams, who's talking to you more, who's talking you up more. This is top-notch stuff. That character design, like this is books that make 15, 20
I mean,
with the right exposure, you know, like,
yeah.
There's only so much you can do on your end. What?
Look at it.
Arrow's up there.
Arrow.
Oh yeah.
I forgot about this piece, dude.
Everybody who backed gets a metal Arrow print. I already got them all. Phoenix Animation made them.
Heck yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Ryan Wynn's appreciating the spelling. I did as well. I didn't realize the first time either about the spelling. That name is actually really good. It's just
I love the Prospectors, but I mean it kind of flopped really hard. You know, it's like they always say Westerns are a tough sell or whatever. But man, I love the Prospectors. I just thought maybe people thought it was cheesy or a hokey pun or I just like that name.
You try to do really famous variant covers from famous artists on one of your books.
Prospectors. I had the Rob Willis cover and then the Kanan White variant. And
oh man,
still didn't catch on. But by the time I finally released it, they started doing covers for almost everybody who were, I'm a little slow at releasing my stuff because I like to have it closer to done, before I get going. But yeah. It didn't work out with Prospector. It didn't pan out is the joke, because of gold.
Right. Dude, I wish it did pan out because I know there's gold nuggets in there somewhere. Keep the pun going. Coleman says it's amazing. He knows what it's about to mine the gold. And so I'm glad you're out there, Matt, because I feel like a lot of guys say that you are like the real punk rock of indie books. Like you're trying to push the boundaries in certain areas, and you've got this kind of technical, I guess, understanding. I feel like you have, knowing about all your background in game production and all that makes sense because you got this technical mind that you can see in all of your books. And you're like, okay, this guy somehow knows about, has all these interesting ideas, and they all come together nicely.
Thank you.
So that's my talking you up for a minute. And I feel like, Jeremy, do you have anything before I move on?
I'm gawking. I'm just gawking.
Yeah, gawk as much. Do you know I have a art resource book or a PDF that I'm trying to make, Matt Fowler?
No, what's it about?
Well, it's just an ultimate guide for art resources. So I'm collecting all the resources. I want to see if you have any storytelling books or a set of videos or something that helped you write the storytelling.
Oh yeah. So I have zero writing experience at all. I have no background in it or anything except when I was in like 8th grade, I wrote a bunch of scripts because my mom offered to pay me by the word, and I wanted to buy like a 3DO. I don't know if you remember the 3DO. It's like a real taxing video game system. So I was doing every job I could to get money. But I don't count all that stuff. So in 2018, right, I was like, oh, well, these mainstream people suck so bad that this is what it is. It's Squirrel Girl, it's Iceman, it's Hawkeye. It is what it is if you were here the first year of Comicsgate. And I was just in the chat, never written before in my life. So I was like, well, how do I do this? And I got 3 books. One is Understanding Comics by Scott McCloud.
Okay. We got great one.
Which is an awesome book. It kind of like trips your mind out and makes you realize like, oh, okay. I recommend that book for people like girlfriends who don't know how to read comics. Cause there's some people who don't even know how to like what word bubbles are supposed to be doing what, that those square boxes are a voiceover or what, like a lot of people, the stuff we just take for granted, like this language of comics is kind of explained in that. But he's a major SJW, so buy it used. Don't buy it from his website or whatever.
Right.
Get it at your local comic book shop. But it's called Understanding Comics. The other book is the one everybody knows is How to Draw Comic Books the Marvel Way. which is more for artists, but teaches you a lot about scenes and what to ask for out of your artist, to get that certain feel, So I recommend that. I recommend Sequential Storytelling by Will Eisner. It's just a book about panel work.
Nice.
And there's a DC series of books called How to Write Comics the DC Way, How to Color Comics the DC Way, How to Letter Comics the DC Way. I suggest familiarizing yourself with all those because it helps you talk to your letterer and talk to your colorist and speak in their language, even if you're not going to color and you're not going to letter. Cool tricks are in those books, like, hey, this panel should have 25 letters in it, or what, you know what I'm saying? Like little secrets that help you. These books are like the metronome to the storytelling. They just kind of tell you how to stay on time. Mm-hmm. So that whole series of the how to DC things are really good. And the last thing I read was the How to Write Comics the Alan Moore Way, which is just a joke little pamphlet, kind of real dense essay that Alan Moore put out a long time ago. And, and that's all I read to get going.
Tight. That's a lot of the good ones. I think we might have a couple already in there, but I'm going to add a lot of the other ones. I read the sequel to Scott McCloud's Understanding Comics, The Making Comics, which is, I think it's less for the girlfriend. It's a little bit more, I'd say, for the artist than just the writer, maybe, or just understanding in general. But yeah, those are great books. For anyone out there, I have this Ultimate Art Guide. I'll put it in the description afterward. And if you're an artist, you can go check it out. I'm building it slowly. We're putting out pretty much all the links to the books and videos as we go along. I haven't got them all in there yet, but we're slowly but surely building the right ones for the right people. And eventually you'll find everything you need in this one place. So that's the idea here. But yeah, I'll add those in afterward. Just want to promote the Ultimate Art Guide because eventually this thing will be a Bible of Bibles that anybody new to comics, I'll be like, just go there, very
and there's so many newcomers who are interested in making these things, and even old people who are interested in making these things that have worked in the industry for years, but only in one specific thing. Like I was this inker for millions of years. Just because you're an inker don't mean you're a letterer or a printer or knows you can talk color, or you know what I'm saying. I suggest anyone who's trying to do it themselves learn as much about this stuff as you can, because it's all free. All the information is out there, and your fans will eventually reward you, I think, for the mastery of the craft you put forth. Because look at those kayfabe guys, they're doing great, and they talk about the craft and study this, and I know they hate CG, but you can learn a lot from your enemies, I guess, is to study them.
The one I would recommend for you, Matt, if you haven't read Save the Cat, it's a screenwriting book, but it's incredible for all of us. It's like it's formulaic, kind of. It's like formulaic. So if you stick to it, you're going to make something good, but at the same time, maybe too formulaic. So it's a good, like you said, a metronome, but it's more for the story beats, of your arc.
Save the Cat came up in 2018. Mitch Breitweiser was heavily recommending that when he was working on Red Rooster, and then Doug Ernst, the guy that runs Iconic Comics, he was also like, yeah, dude, Save the Cat. Like,
if Star Circuit is as good as it is, which fingers crossed that these reviews aren't bullshit, it's because of Save the Cat. That's why I know anything about it. It was pretty much my jumping off point, and then everything just comes together. But that's where I figured out a lot of things, and also Scott McCloud stuff. But this is what it's all about, trying to share the info for everybody. Anybody's interested in making a comic. It's super rewarding. It's a lot of work. Matt can surely
it's not all that rewarding either. It's a lot of work. Let's just say that. If you like to make a comic, it's a lot of work. It's
a lot of work. It can be rewarding if you like the grind. if you like the daily grind, if you fall in love with the daily grind, it's rewarding. If you're looking for, some sort of outward, validation, it might not always be the thing. However, I want to bring up a few different things before we head out. One being, first, Jeremy, what are you up to these days? Do you have anything to share before we roll out of here?
No, not anything new from last Friday or Wednesday, I guess. I mean, I have been building more on the book as far as getting the rest of my panels valued out. You've given me basically not you gave me the 45 degree. So I did make those adjustments and you read those pages. So I'm hoping I'm more tilted closer to the motivations, maybe a little clearer. So yeah, now if I finish out my letters across my book, and it's just a rough pass, then I'm ready to start rendering the real one. So I may do a color pass across it just to test the color palette as well, but I'm gonna blow those up on 11 by 16 and then just start drilling out on top of those, using those as kind of like a map.
It's a good idea to do the color pass. For sure. One of these days I have to show my test pages, my first original test pages for Star Circuit. They look totally different than what Star Circuit looks like now. But it's interesting to see where everything spawned from. It's almost like Star Circuit in an alternate universe.
The other thing is I was talking about our game Beckoned on Steam. It did have a error towards the end of the game where the boss stopped spawning, so you couldn't basically like trigger the end events and get your little compass to hunt the enemies down easier. We got it fixed. We got it fixed pretty easy. So
nice.
If you guys do go there, check out on the community. In the discussions, you guys can check, leave us some crap to read through, some stuff that crushes our souls. So yeah,
that's perfect, dude. Everybody go play. I would have played it already if it was ready for Mac, but I know. But anyway, I would love to. I would love to do that.
Well, my plan is to do that and Switch at the same time. Is try to get the conversions for both of those handled by the same person. So I have to get the license for both of them too. So
yeah, I know it's a struggle. I know the dev, me and Jeremy worked at a dev place a long time ago, one that we will not mention. But that's how me and Jeremy really kind of got close. And now we're art bros, of course.
It was the infected hair follicle on the taint of Satan's left thigh. I think that was the most polite way I could say it.
Right.
Ingrown hair on Satan's thigh.
Exactly. So I want to talk a second about Star Circuit. We already gave a little bit of an update, but Star Circuit is my cyberpunk racing book that it's still in demand. We get a few backers every once in a while. You can back the book. You can back this essential tier here for $50, and you get a poster. You get a concept art book and the main book, which is actually 40 pages now, all in all. And so go check that out. We also have a 3D print of the main bike, which I call the main character of the book. It's the Metric X50. It's a 3D print. It's pretty large.
I've got a small one.
Yes, you do. So you get them gray, and we can send them out primed. And the idea is that you guys paint them yourself, and when you paint them, you can send in pictures, and for the next campaign, we'll have a contest on whoever gets the best bike in. We'll draw you in. We'll maybe get you a whole print of your design.
Get your Dremel tools, get your LEDs out, get your clear label stickers to print in your printer, start doing decal stickers. I'm going to jack my big model up.
I bet. I know you're going to come back with something that looks totally not like the bike.
If I can take apart an old Razor motor and stick it on the inside and flick it on, and the lights actually come on and it spins around,
that'd be really cool. I'd like to see it. So yeah, check that out. We also have original art. Several things have been purchased already. These numbers are a little bit off, but however, the book is killer. It's a 32 pages of intense racing kind of action in a cyberpunk speculative future where androids are now the pinnacle. They're the unbeatable, opponents. So one asshole of a street racer goes against these android racers, and you'll get to see what happens. But this is the first chapter. Go check it out. That's the end of Art Bros this week.
They said, did Matthew bleach his hair, or is that just the lighting? I think they think you went Slim Shady on us.
Yeah, that's just the lighting.
That's the real Matt Fowler. Please stand up.
Yeah, you got like is that like a recording studio or something like that? What am I looking at?
That's I used to do music production back in the late 90s and early 2000s for rap, Scribble Jam and underground hip hop, stuff like that.
Awesome, dude.
So I said Slim Shady. It worked.
Local radio stations, the background music when they read ad copy and stuff like that. I made a bunch of that stuff too. So
awesome.
I built a sound room in my basement when we bought the house back in the day. So it's the quietest room with all the kids running around. So I just set up in here instead of my comic book room so we wouldn't be disturbed.
Awesome. So we've got your website in the description. I'll be putting the ultimate guide for the ultimate art guide in the description as well for anybody that wants to go check out that. Obviously, we've got another Art Bros next week. Next week we have the Moral Compass himself is here next week promoting Viking. So I'm stoked for that. It'll be awesome to have Mark over here. Anything else before we go? How about we go around maybe and say where we can find.
Oh, I got one more thing. Keep talking while I go grab it. I'll be right back.
Awesome.
So yeah, Joe, I guess I can talk about, guys. Go on Steam. Go check out the game. Like we said, you can find me at Zade Studios on YouTube, on Instagram, and it's Studio Zade on Twitter. So that's where you can find me. You could also find us at zadestudios.com and check out what we've been doing and any kind of updates that we got going. The updates kind of come slow. As long as you guys keep up with me on the social medias, you're pretty much updated.
That's the way it goes, man. Yeah, and of course, I'm just Catapano Art everywhere.
All right. I'm back. Check this out. Here's the.
I'm gonna make you. Hold on. Let me make you a full screen person.
Cool. And big in me. Yeah, there we go. This is for Mo. Check it out. We got the metal Aero prints in.
Yeah.
You wait for that.
And then
we love Mo. ARO.
Yeah.
I was doing some test printing for the for Jose. Yeah, I don't know if you can catch it all on here.
Oh, that's slick.
I didn't know he made it that big, man. I only caught a smidgen of that on stream.
Oh, I zoomed all through what I could of any post that he had on that. Yeah. I think he heard when I said that Smiley cover has like 30-something human figures. I think he overheard that and said, "Oh, my beer."
Jose said, show off the Tiger Blue game.
Oh, there he is. Hey, Jose. Yeah, we're gawking about you.
Oh, all right. I'll go grab it. I know what he's talking about. Give me one more second.
Okay. So, yeah, this is exciting. An exciting end to Art Bros.
Yes.
That poster is amazing. Like, just sell that on Gumroad or something. I don't know. I'll buy it. Does that come with Dixie Rose or something, or is that just some totally separate?
I think that's for the Tiger campaign.
That's for Tiger.
No, I thought that was his ARO.
Right. I just know, how do you get the posters? My question. Anybody?
Oh, right. I don't know.
How do I buy that?
Ask him when he gets. Hey, how do we buy that thing?
How do I buy this, Mo?
How do we buy that thing?
It's not for sale yet. We're just adjusting on prices and where's the best way to sell it. Here's the official Tiger Blue arcade stick.
Oh, what?
That's awesome, dude.
How do we get these?
It's perfect for that, dude.
How do we get these?
I just made this one for me to kind of remind me of what I'm working on, while I play some games. So I'm always reminded to get back to work, when I'm goofing off playing too many games.
You look down, you're like, oh, dude, gotta keep going with this stuff. Oh, the metal prints for Dixie Rose, the poster you don't know yet. Okay. Well, no, we are looking forward to wherever we can buy that thing. Even if I have to go to Illinois and steal it from Matthew.
Right.
It's just tough because prices for those gallery prints, like that's on fine art paper and done with the. I don't know if you're a nerd about Giclée prints or whatever.
Giclée prints.
Okay, that's just it's some Google Giclée if you want some high end print stuff. Okay. I've looked at some more affordable places. The big thing is that shipping them, if anything happens to any of the posters, the cost to replace the single poster is too great to make it work right now. Whenever Jose and if I do, become more popular, we can, do posters at that time or whatever. But I gave him a whole plan with what they cost and stuff and said I'd help distribute them in the United States for him since, Mexico. And we just got to, whenever the right time is. But yeah, dude, I get to keep that test print for my office. I found out today. So I'm super stoked. Awesome.
Yeah, man. I appreciate
I'll find a frame now.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Dude, that's awesome. That's like something that long. That'd be really cool for a Star Circuity kind of racing thing as well. I'll think about something like that as we go. Yeah. Dude, thank you for coming on. Been wanting to do this for a while. I think we planned it and then things got shaking around.
No, you passed me up for that super hot girl with the anime book.
I didn't pass.
I know you did. You booted me for the cute girl. It's all right. I forgive you, man. I ain't mad. I ain't mad at you.
You're good. That's fine with me. Ryan Winsor, he's got his the art print geekery going over here. And what happened was we had a stream that got internet disrupted. However, I did want to have you on schedule. So what we'll do here is Mo's saying, if your printers are willing to go work for exposure, I'll try my luck again after dollar crashes. Yeah, it's going to crash eventually, man. Buy with Bitcoin. So
all my books are printed in CG. Like I don't use real printers. I mean, it's really a printer, but it's 3D Zach. I don't know if you met him. He's the community member who bought a printing press and put it in his garage and has been pumping out the books. He did a ash can for Narwhals for an agent and Iron Skies, I believe. That was another Kane and White cover. But yeah, no, keep the printing is in the community for as far as my company goes.
Okay, that's a good idea. I
wanted to try to do.
I didn't know of such things, but I will be investigating it in the future. Have a great night, everyone. You can find Matthew Fowler on Twitter, right? As what's your tag?
It's at Dubois_Fowler. It's my business account for retrographic books. So yeah, that's me. And
then go check out the website. That's in the description. Have a good night, everyone. We're closing out with, as usual. Well, I thought I had it up. I guess when I got kicked, I kicked myself. All of my shared screens disappeared. Let me pull it back up. But in the meantime, anything else before we go, guys? I have to find the video, and then
how is it streaming from like the inside of a shoebox?
It's pretty plain in here. You smell your own farts, but okay. So we're gonna end on the mixtape as you usually do. This mixtape goes out to everybody that backs Star Circuits. Go back it. Tell everybody to back it because you get a free soundtrack as well that you can listen to the book or listen to the soundtrack while you're reading the book. Have a great night. Thanks, Matt.
Thanks for having me on, guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, same. And we appreciate it as well. Go. I don't know who's streaming right now. I don't know if
go get the CG maybe? Guide, everybody.
Yeah, Global Frequency. Are they streaming tonight? They usually do.
Oh yeah, maybe B-Rose. You never know.
We'll see. Check it out. We'll see you guys out there in the Twitterverse and the chat. So have a good night,
guys. Love it,
everybody.